What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for my top 10 most anticipated albums of 2017. Today I am joined by my girlfriend Infinity on Hannah. Thanks for being here with me today, Hannah, and talking about some music that we're super hyped for in the coming year. So, we obviously have part 1 here, but where can they find part 2 of this video?
Make sure to check out my channel because that's where part 2/part 1, the other part of this video will be. We're also going to be talking about 10 other artists that we hope release music in 2017, so make sure to check it out, link below.
A quick thank you to our sponsor today, Rabbit. You guys might remember last spring I was sponsored by them. It's a video chat app of sorts that really helps bring people together by letting you watch and listen to things in sync. Now, Hannah, haven't we actually used this ourselves? Ever since we first found out about Rabbit, obviously, we've used it several times. We're in a long-distance relationship, and being able to watch things on Netflix together in sync, you can actually watch with up to 25 people at a time, completely in sync. So if one person's got a Netflix account and you have friends in Kansas, Michigan, and then somebody overseas, you can actually all watch or listen in sync. It's something really cool, especially for like trying out albums if you want to listen with your friends rather than just like, oh, saying, check this album out. You can actually make sure that they listen to it, and you're like, okay, I'm listening with you in sync. I know you're watching it. So if you guys want to check out Rabbit, it's available on mobile. You can check out the top link in the description down below. It's on desktop as well. You can find me, username ARTV. I might just be calling and chatting with some of you guys that actually add me on the app. So you can find me, username ARTV. It'll be in the description down below. Head over there, click the top link, and it'll take you over to the app. And I know some of you guys actually told me and thanked me that you really loved Rabbit and really enjoyed it after I promoted it back in the spring. So hopefully those of you who didn't get around to it the first time will check it out this time. Today we're going to be talking about albums that are either unconfirmed, stuff that we're just speculating, artists that we hope release music in 2017, or else there are a few that have actually confirmed, maybe not even confirmed release dates, but we're just super stoked for their new music to come out in general. So I'm doing 5. Hannah's doing 5, and then we're going to be doing the same thing over on her channel. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what my first pick is.
You wanted to. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. Why I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide.
System of a Down have not released music since 2005. The double album Hypnotize and Mesmerize. I know. Over a decade without music.
That's fun.
Isn't it? I mean, it's just, I understand that there's been like, there was a hiatus, and then there was kind of like, is Serge Tankian, the lead singer of the band, is he actually like wanting to do new music with them? And these guys are in their late to mid 40s now at this point, so it's just like, it's now. Now is the time to strike and do this. I'm really excited. I know I don't cover a ton of metal on my channel, but System of a Down are kind of a hard rock and metal band that I have always really had a soft spot for, one of my first loves in music. So I am really hoping that they actually do this album. They've been talking about it for a while, but a couple of websites have confirmed and said System of a Down are releasing album 2017.
Nice.
I'm not exactly sure where they would go with their sound on this new album, but I think as political as they've been in the past, with everything that's going on right now, and especially in the United States. I know they've talked about worldwide events in the past, but it seems like there's so much going on at home right now that they've got plenty of subject matter for a new album.
It's breaking up my bones. I wanna lie, but I don't. Can I try? We're taking off, baby. We're taking off.
My first pick is the band Vinyl Theater. They actually toured with 21 Pilots back in 2014. That's kind of how I got into them. They're signed to Fueled by Ramen as well. I actually got to interview those guys too, so I got to meet them and stuff. Really cool dudes. They're kind of like an indie rock, indie pop, electronic band. I don't know how to describe it, but they're really good, very talented, and they've sort of been hinting at the fact that they're releasing something very soon for the last few months. I know they've been recording for a while now, so they've kind of been hinting that this month, January, is when they're finally going to be giving us something. So I'm hoping that that is like the album announcement, maybe the album title, the cover, and hopefully
maybe a first single. Yeah, exactly. Bands keep you on the edge like that. I like it in a way, but at the same time, it's just like, please, hand it over.
I know. I feel like with Vinyl Theater, they've just kind of they kind of had a strange year, I feel like, because they lost a band member, and so I feel like it's kind of been maybe a little bit tricky for them to record because it has been taking them a while. I know they've been recording for like a long time in writing, so I'm hoping that, you know, they're taking their time to perfect what they're going to put out, and I really hope it's a good one.
I was blown away by American Candy in 2015. What a fucking phenomenal album. Every damn song on that project.
It's not a bad song.
I was just shocked because I've loved the MAINE in the past, but American Candy was so on a different level that I didn't even know what exactly to say about it whenever I was reviewing it. I was just kind of taken back and I was like, I'm so sorry I ever kind of backhandedly undermined your just talent. Yeah, exactly. Underestimated you as a band because you were put out one of the best albums of the year. Now, I've gone back and listened to some of their other stuff, really solid. I mean, everything from like Black and White to Pioneer, which has some really exceptional songs on it. This alternative rock band, just, I cannot wait to see what they've crafted for album 6. And I like that they got back in the studio.
Yeah.
Kind of fast, you know, because whenever you got that spark flowing with the creativity.
They're just running with it, you know.
Exactly, and they've been posting updates like on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff, just with the new album, album 6, and they have actually completed it, according to John O'Callaghan, lead singer at this point. I cannot wait to hear this. I know you probably feel about the same way.
I'm so excited. They totally blew me away, like you said. I'm ready.
So, if we can get any... I know they're not going to do the exact same thing as American Candy, but these guys do have a tendency to mix it up, so I'm excited to see what they pull out on album 6.
My next pick is Turnover. Now, if you know my channel, you know I'm a pretty massive fan of this band. They're still pretty small, at least in my eyes. I feel like they're not really getting the recognition that they deserve, so if you haven't heard them, definitely go check them out. But I am really, really hoping, I'm crossing my fingers, that they're going to release another full-length album this year, because they put out actually a 2-song EP, I think it was in the spring of 2016, and I like those songs, but I just want to see what they can do by taking that further, you know, evolving, you know, more with their sound, because they've pretty much done that every single album. They kind of changed and shifted genres. They're more into like an atmospheric kind of sound, would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely. I listened to, Hannah got me into some of Turnover's music, and I remember listening to their newest album, Peripheral Vision, and then going back and checking out some of like the EPs and stuff. It
doesn't even sound like the same band.
And even their first album, their first album just sounds like something of a different variety, and I'm excited to see, maybe I would like to see kind of like a cross hybrid between the two.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to keep maturing and making something that's just going to blow me away again, because that's what their last album did. They're incredibly good live with that sound. They just are able to capture something so different that I feel like we haven't seen from a lot of bands lately. And like I said, they're still kind of small, so I really hope that, you know, they get some more success with their next upcoming album.
Right, another 10-plus year veteran band that haven't put out an album in over a decade. 10-plus years between releases. Like,
oh my God.
What is going on with these guys? No, Tool are one of those bands that you just cannot tie down. Maynard, the lead singer of this band, he is all over the place with what he works with. I heard he's been working with A Perfect Circle, his other band, for a while. He's been doing some Tool-related stuff, and I know we've been hearing about maybe a new album, and it's kind of become a meme or a joke at this point. Like, are they going to put it out? Are they not? And a lot of inside sources, and even some members of the band themselves, are hinting at the fact that 2017 could finally be the year that happens. So if it does happen this year, that means it would be 11 years in between releases, their last since 10,000 Days. I remember getting into them back in 2006, and I was like, oh, I bet there's going to be a new album soon. Here I am, 25 years old at this point, and still waiting. So Tool, we're begging you, please let it be the year.
Sometimes things will bend you, but trust me, I'll be fine. 'Cause I've been moving mountains that I once had to climb.
Neck Deep released one of the greatest albums in 2015. Definitely the best pop punk album from that year, in my opinion, if you ask me. I don't know how you feel, but they are seriously killing it, and I am ready for more. Give me more. Honestly, I wasn't too into Neck Deep before that album. That was the album that just had me hooked, you know? I feel like it's probably the same for you.
It's really where they found their sound,
Oh,
if you
I
ask
agree.
me.
They perfected it.
Exactly, because pop punk has become, in the modern scene, I think it falls into a lot of tropes and a lot of kind of cliches, but they kind of shook those off with Life's Not Out to Get You in 2015. I was shocked by the album because I don't listen to a ton of pop punk, but Neck Deep are doing things right. They have this sound about them that definitely has an emotional aspect to it, I think, because you look at some of the slower songs on that album, and then
they're able to, I feel like, take different approaches to different types of songs and their lyrics and whatnot, and they just do it like right, like you said. Like they're just able to.
Those instrumentals too, like the musicality of the tracks. So good. They're just like hard-hitting guitars, the punk drumming, of course, and I think their vocalist is kind of underrated, to be quite honest.
I agree. I feel like they deliver in every single aspect of their band, and I have no idea like what direction they're gonna go in next. But I'm hoping it's further kind of with what they did last time, because I like that way better than their older albums. But either way, I'm just excited for whatever they have to give us.
Stars in the charts and the cards make sense only when we want them to. When I lie awake staring into space, I see a different view.
Now I know this one is just around the corner, in fact within the next week or so, but I did want to put it on my list just because I have been eagerly anticipating this one for a while. Their last album, Coexist, just didn't really hit the spot for me personally, but this British indie pop act definitely always has something up their sleeve. And Jamie XX, one of the members of this project, obviously put out his excellent In Color solo project that came out in 2015. It took a little bit for it to settle in with me, but once it actually finally landed, I don't know, I really started vibing with it. It's kind of a mood record, something kind of chill in places, but it also has obviously the more upbeat singles on it as well, like I Know There's Gonna Be Good Times. And then I really like the XX's comeback single, On Hold. That's the only one I've allowed myself to hear before the album coming out, but I'm excited to hear that. I probably won't get back to it until after our vacation, but I'm still fingers crossed thinking this could be a really, really exciting project to start off 2017.
My next pick is the band Citizen. Now, I became a fan of them in the last year or so. I fell in love with their very first album, Youth. I thought that sound was absolutely perfect. And they actually just tweeted a couple days ago that they are working on a new album that will be released in 2017, which made me so excited because at first I wasn't sure when we were planning this video. Like, I didn't know if they were going to release an album or not. I was just hoping, but now that is confirmed and I'm so ready. Now, their second album, it was great, but I feel like it was just a little bit different, kind of grungier than their first one, and I kind of hope that they kind of match the two on this next one, maybe go in a different direction, but still like sticking to like their sound, but also in a more mature way. Now, their lead singer Matt Caracas released a solo album.
That is what I wanted to talk about right there. That is some good stuff.
And I'm hoping, because he is insanely talented, like his voice, you know, his guitar work is just very, very underrated. And so I'm hoping that he can bring some of, you know, himself to Citizen, what they did, like what he did on that record, maybe to Citizen, and kind of match the two, hopefully, and make something really, really good.
There were some really great, honestly, she recommended me Matt's album, and I honestly feel like his voice has like this become a little bit more distinguished over time. I've listened to some of Citizen's earlier stuff, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm huge into them or anything like that, but Matt's solo album I thought was really, really good. I was kind of taken back by it and very surprised. It's mainly acoustic driven, you know,
very
kind of
raw.
Just him and his voice and the guitar mainly,
So pretty.
and it is a very beautiful album. I really enjoy it, and I think if they kind of put together a couple of different styles, they could kind of transcend that early stuff and put together something really, really cool.
I'd like to see him maybe add, I'd like to see them make sort of maybe a slower song, kind of like what he did on his album, but, you know, more produced. Like, not just acoustic, but, you know, with full band and everything. I think they have huge potential for that, so really hoping for that.
crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee.
Sitting here looking at the watch once again, wondering where Lorde is. I'm not exactly sure who told her to get to the studio 3.5 years late, but I think she's finally back in there. Apparently, she's done a few things in recent years, but she's been kind of quiet since Pure Heroine, her debut. She did touring for it. She became best friends with Taylor Swift, apparently. She did a really, really heartfelt David Bowie tribute, which was just kind of fantastic. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it was something that just kind of, I thought, really paid homage, even more so than some of the other tributes that were going on. And David Bowie himself actually called Lorde the future of music.
Wow.
So that is the highest honor that you could receive. I think she's insanely talented. I love her and her producer Joel Little's sound that they kind of crafted for her. And I think that they could carve out something a little bit more. She was obviously very young. She was 16 whenever she put out her debut full-length album, and I'm excited to see where this next stage of her life is really taking her, because obviously she's moved on to fame. She was not famous whenever that album landed, really, and when she was writing for it, but now she's really blown up. People know her name. It's a household name at this point. And I'm not exactly sure where she goes with her sound on this one. I just really hope that it's not overblown production, a bunch of guest features or something like that. I hope that she can stick to her guns and put out something very relatable, personable, and just down to earth.
So our very last pick is the HEIRS. Now,
yes. See, she didn't tell me her picks beforehand, so that's why she was like, I know you're going to know this one. I know you're going to like this one.
Yes. So the HEIRS are a very small band that I guess they're like synth pop. It's a female and a male singer. They kind of switch off.
Right.
And then they have a band, of course. But I actually got to see them on Warped Tour this summer, and they had like such a tiny crowd. And I felt so bad. I was just kind of watching them casually. I was like, these guys are insanely talented. And they actually put out an EP called Ecliptic.
Yeah, the
and
Ecliptic EP last year.
I checked it out after seeing them live because I really liked what I heard. And I showed it to him, and we both like instantly vibed with it. Very good stuff.
Title track on that Ecliptic EP is just fantastic.
Yeah.
The hook is huge. It was on my best songs of the year list. I thought it was fantastic. Honestly, there were several songs on there that I just thought showed insane potential.
Exactly.
They're very young. You know?
Oh, they are. I think the singer, the
17?
girl, I think she's like 17 years old.
It's insane. Still in high school, putting out some material. Honestly, the lyrics are really solid. It seems like
insane.
they're really well played and crafted. They do a great job of working in some guitars along with the synthesizers.
Yeah.
Everything. It's just kind of a well-rounded sound. You don't expect necessarily a band that young to be putting out something so well constructed, but I really honestly have to give it to them. Kudos to them for putting out something like that. And honestly, don't you think it's about time?
It is time. I really hope that, I'm sure they are putting out an album this year, but they definitely need to at this point, because if they want to get big, I think they need to do it right now.
Now is the time to strike. We're both giving you guys exposure. I know you had them on your underrated vocalist video.
Yes.
I've featured them in a couple of videos as well. So hopefully people like us and any other blogs pick up the HEIRS.
Yeah.
I want people to know about this band that has a really cool sound. I think that they could strike in 2017, and it could be something that could be picked up by stations like Alt Nation. I could totally see them running with a sound like this. There you have it, 10 of our most anticipated albums for the year. 5 from me, 5 from Hannah. If you would like to see the other 5, you can find those over on Hannah's channel. There's going to be a link in the description, and here in just a second there's going to be a little annotation that you can click to take you straight to that. Other than that, you can find me on social media linked in the description down below. The videos should be floating on screen here for Hannah's channel, and subscribe to her channel as well, and a recent video that I did on my channel that I think you guys would like. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed, and I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.